Hi everyone, this is Eliza, and I want to talk very briefly about trauma and specifically trauma in children because kids can experience traumatizing things, and especially in this day and age, they're oftentimes things they see on the internet or somebody shows them or on the news. There's various ways where trauma can show up in your child's life. Maybe it's even your child has come into your home through adoption and you don't know their story fully and you're wondering if trauma might be a part of it. And sometimes that does show up. There's various behavioral issues, learning issues, sleep, eating habits and patterns. There's lots of ways that it can show up. But if you're asking that question, you're really asking, what do I do? And I'm going to give you just a very brief 3 steps that you can do to help a child who you might be feeling is dealing with trauma symptoms at that time. So maybe they're really upset about something, or they're emotionally really distraught and they're reacting in pretty strong ways. Well, Bruce Perry, who is a neuroscientist and he works with children, he has 3 R's that I think are super helpful for us. And I'm going to share them with you and kind of connect how we can think about these things as Christian parents. So the first R, when you have a child who maybe is having a trauma response, or you're not sure if it is a trauma response, but you're feeling like this seems a little disproportionate to what's going on in their life, or they seem hypervigilant or very fearful, excessively fearful, the first R is to regulate them, which basically means just to help them calm down, to bring them to a place where they're no longer activated and worried and distraught, but they're calm. And one of the best ways that you can do that is for you to be calm as well. And one thing I encourage parents to do is to bring the Lord into that. Help your child see that God is a comfort and a help for you, to help you calm down, and it will teach them at the same time for God to be that for them as well. So regulate is the first R. You want to talk to a child who is feeling upset in a way that they can actually hear you, and the best way to do that is to help them regulate. I wrote the book Count Yourself Calm, and it is a activity that you can do with your child. You can do it with younger children and you can adapt it for older children as well, just to kind of help them not just calm down, but see how God can help them in that moment as well. So regulate is the first R. The second R is relate, and that's where you want to help them see, like, I understand what you're feeling, or I want to hear about what you're feeling, and even be able to help them hear from you. Sometimes I get afraid too. Sometimes I'm afraid, sometimes I'm worried about certain things, sometimes I have bad memories and I can feel it all in my body as well. You're relating to them, helping to kind of normalize the situation. So regulate, relate, and the last one is to then reason. And we go here first often as parents, don't we? We tend to go right to the reason. But if you have a dysregulated child and you haven't tried to relate to them, which actually builds trust, you're not going to be able to, well, you could try to reason with them, but they're not going to receive that reason. So the reason comes after you've helped regulate them, after you've related to them. Then you're at a place where at their level, you can begin to bring truth and direction and correction or whatever is most needed for that circumstance. So 3 R's, really simple, as you're walking with a child who maybe has dealt with something traumatizing and they're reacting and you're wondering, is that reaction related to trauma? Those are something that you can try next time. And of course, pray and ask the Lord to help you, and He will.